We are pleased to welcome our colleague here on public television, Joanna Gagis, who is the host and executive producer of Life and Living, which can be seen on NJTV Saturdays at?
Saturdays at 2 p.m.
Sundays?
Sunday at 11 a.m.
Also FiOS?
On FiOS, we've got a lot of options. We've got 9 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays, and on Sundays, 11:30 a.m. and p.m.
What are you going to plug
all
the
over
whole
the
time?
place, you know?
I wanted to have Joanna on because you see a lot of networks do this, cross-promote each other, but they have less interesting people on. And also, I feel like people who watch you on Life and Living and know that you are, you may know from the credits, Joanna is the head of programming at our corporation, executive producer of all programming and involved in all kinds of things. I always think it's interesting for people to get to know who someone is behind the credits and who someone is once they see you as a host. You have 2 young children.
I do.
Talk about them.
Little girl, Juliana Joy. She really is our joy. She's the best. 2.5 years old, wise beyond her years. She's already debating me. My mother says I deserve it, but she's, you know, a smart little thing and is going to take over the world, and I'm pretty sure she'll probably take over one of our jobs soon.
What do you love most about her? Because one of the videos, we send video about our children a lot.
Yes, we did.
The one video that I love the most is when she started naming
The capitals.
The capitals of each state.
So, yeah.
At what age again?
We've got to take the show to Ellen because at, I think, 1.5 years, she was already learning some capitals. She knew New Jersey and New York, and now she's 2.5, and she knows, I think, 15 capitals. Unless, you know, she's not in the mood to play, and then the capital is poopy.
Yes,
but that's what
yes.
happens in our house. I'm sure that kind of thing happens at your house.
And your son?
My son is 6 months old, and Nicholas is just a sweet, sweet, happy little boy. And, you know, everyone asks, and I'm sure moms always get asked this question, because I get asked it by everybody, but what's the difference between a girl and a boy? You know, do you feel different with a boy? And, you know, you don't love any of your children more than the other. You don't. But you do have different relationships with each of your kids. And my daughter is my little girl, and we share a bond that my husband will never share with her because you know, we're girls and we can do our girl things together. But with a boy, you know, there is something there too. It's just a different kind of relationship.
You know, we'll talk about Life and Living in a second, but you would not be able to do everything you do professionally. The balancing act is not easy, and a whole bunch of folks watching, particularly women who are dealing with that constant balancing act. How important is it to have a supportive and involved husband, Nick?
Or spouse, yeah, I mean...
Or spouse, any significant other, right?
I couldn't do it without Nick, and, you know, it's a whole family dynamic. They say it takes a village to raise a family, and it does. But the immediate need, you know, to have a spouse who understands the challenges of a work, especially in the job that we're in. You know, there are some days that are excruciatingly long, and I may not see the kids. You know, there are days where I won't see them.
I'm sorry, did you say excruciatingly long?
Well, you know.
No, I don't. So
I'm sorry. Is it harder for the producers?
They are long days.
They are long days. You know, when you work in television, they're long days. There are a lot of jobs that have demanding hours, and it's not just us in TV. But I couldn't do it without my husband. I mean, there are days when he's cooking dinner, and he might not be the happiest that day, but he's cooking dinner and he's changing diapers and he's up with the kids in the morning, you know, when I'm out. So,
and he's in real estate.
And he's in real estate, and he, you know, we have that flexibility where he can make his own hours. But his job is demanding too. So.
And let's talk about this, because you do talk to a lot of women, talk to men and women on Life and Living, but the women you talk to about the challenges they face, what kinds of themes? Because a lot of Life and Living is about the challenges that people face, and a whole range of other issues, fun stuff as well, but those challenges.
Sure, and we love covering women's issues because, you know, listen, the proverbial glass ceiling is still there. And as women, I think we have to ask ourselves, what do we want out of our lives in a different way than men do? You know, a man will never have to. It's very different, yeah. I think, yes, I think very different. I'll go that far.
Go ahead.
You know, more and more, I think men want to be centered in the family in a way that they didn't used to be. So I think women have more support. But I think that the feelings and the emotions will never go away of really wanting to have both a family and a career. And so I think women experience guilt in a way that men won't.
And a lot of the guests you have, women who are professionals in all walks of life, on Life and Living, talk about that.
They do. They do, and there are still issues. I mean, you know, we could politicize this, but income inequality is still an issue. And so for women, I think just wanting to engage in the same way that a man can, and wanting things to feel the same way that it can feel for a man, but then understanding that either we're not there yet and we still have strides to make, or it may never be the same for a man and a woman, and kind of grappling with that and understanding it. So yeah, we love to cover women's issues and all the things that women experience, and not just moms, working women who don't have families. I mean, it's women's issues across the board.
And some of those issues involve flexibility. Joanna, and this is not I'm going to make this such a private thing, but you had to make some tough decisions, and you recently, as we were starting the new year in 2016, said, look, I want to make some I have to make some tough choices, and you created a more flexible schedule.
Yes.
Where there was some time that you needed to be with your family.
Yes.
But still have this ridiculous workload.
Right. Right, that didn't change. Just the hours
Exactly.
changed. And one of the things that I think women look for are jobs that will be flexible with them, that understand that I might do some work on a Saturday morning, or I might do it Friday when the kids go to bed, or any night of the week when the kids go to bed. But a workplace that encourages that flexibility and that allows that flexibility. And to your credit, there are a lot of women working here in the organization who have that kind of flexibility. So we have that supportive culture at the CDC, but not all women do.
But I think more and more organizations are realizing that. By the way, a lot of your segments that I love on Saturdays and Sundays, particularly on public television and FiOS as well, a lot of cooking, chef-related segments. Talk about it real quick.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, because I love food. And I'm a New Jerseyan, and I love when...
You're a foodie?
I'm a foodie.
Go ahead.
But I love when New Jersey is competing in the food market, because people think they have to go to New York, and they don't. And so we have actually Amanda Freitag on the program, who is one of the judges from Chopped and is a Jersey girl. She is working primarily in New York. But Ryan DiPerzio, who's right here in Jersey City, running Batello, beautiful restaurant right on the water. Nico in Newark, he's got his hands in everything. There are so many great restaurants right here in New Jersey. You don't have to go to New York.
And destinations as well. You've done a lot of destination stuff.
Love the destinations. That's one of my favorites. We've got Mountain Creek Ski Resort. You can go skiing. There's summer activities when the weather's warm down the shore. I mean, there's any number of activities down the shore. You want to see arts and culture, go to the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick. Go to the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn. I mean, there's so many great things to do right here in New Jersey.
Life and Living also deals with medical health-related issues, right?
Yes, a lot of health and wellness. A lot of...
Geared more toward women?
Not necessarily, no. No, yeah, we do cover it from a women's perspective. A lot of breast cancer, issues and
awareness,
and things that women may not be thinking of. Pelvic floor dysfunction. Who wants to talk about that?
Huh?
Nobody. Exactly.
Why? But important.
But they're important issues. They're important issues. But how to live your best life? Yoga, healthy eating. Raising our kids to be healthy eaters, to be active, to get up and get moving. So. Family.
Real quick before I get out of here, how much when you're doing the show are you thinking about your own stuff, meaning stuff that interests you that you think would also potentially, because half the time I'm like, Joanna or Jen Eichlin, our executive producer, one-on-one, I just came across a book I just came across this or that, or do you think of the same thing?
I think that if you truly love your job, you're really tied to it and you're connected to it. So you're drawing from your personal experience, and you want something that you're interested in to come across to your viewers, because for whatever reason you think they should be interested in it too. So yeah, I think they're very much tied together.
All right, last question. One thing that the viewers on public television and FiOS would never know about Joanna Gagis, but you're about to share right now.
Ooh, you're putting me on the spot. There's lots of things.
This is. Yeah, you mentioned Ellen before. This is an Ellen show, Ellen question, or an Oprah, or a Howard Stern type question. One thing they would not know you're going to share right now. They'd be surprised at.
All right, maybe not surprised, but I'm going to give it up. I wasn't born in New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl who wasn't born in New Jersey. I'm from Illinois, but no one would ever know, because all I do is talk about this state. You were born in Illinois. I was. I came here when I was 4. So not born, but bred.
And you got your passport when? But you are born, she may not be born here, but you are definitely a Jersey girl.
That's true, yeah. Joanna
Gagis can be seen, Life and Living, public television, NJTV, when again?
Saturdays, 2 p.m., Sundays, 11 a.m.
Do FiOS again.
And FiOS, we've got 9 a.m., 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays, and then Sundays, 11:30 a.m. and p.m.
There'll be a test later. Thank you, Joanna. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Check her out. See you guys right after this.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Barnabas Health, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Investors Bank, PSE&G, the Russell Berry Foundation, NJ Best, and by Verizon. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.